Good evening. It's Thursday, November 1st. My name's Dee Dee, and I'm here to answer Chris's question for the week. Should students and teachers be allowed to connect through social media sites? To start, I'd like to just clarify that I interpret this to be students and their teachers in K through 12 classrooms, and social media sites being something along the lines of Facebook. So my short answer to this question is yes, they should be allowed to connect in this way with certain conditions, primarily that the teacher has a policy and guidelines in place, that the policy is made very clear to students and their parents, and that the guidelines include that the content and context of this interaction is academic. So Chris's example of having a teacher account for use by his students fulfills my yes. Of course, I've got a little bit longer answer also, where my yes could turn into a maybe and even a no. The question was posed, should students be allowed to connect with teachers and teachers with students on social media sites? And that's already answered. But if the question should turn to, should students and teachers be expected to connect through social media sites, then my answer might become a maybe or a no. Let me explain. I'm not the classroom teacher in this group. I'm a parent. So I think teacher's job is already big enough. And I'm not quite seeing how we can add into the job description available via social media sites and still expect that teacher to stay focused on the core responsibilities of the job. I guess maybe that's because I'm thinking available via social media sites leaves the teacher, supposedly available, I don't know, how many extra hours in the evening when the teacher either has, schoolwork to be doing or the teacher deserves some time off too. So that's that angle. But on the other hand, if there are teachers who are comfortable with or maybe even prefer this form of communication, well then yes, they should be allowed to connect with their students via social media sites. But if it's a teacher for whom connecting on social media is just one more thing, one more responsibility, then I should say no. That's not part of the job description as I would see it from my perspective. But then again, maybe it depends on the subject area. Arts teachers, Chris's example of using social media in his vocal music program was very productive use of the techniques and technologies. But at some point, again, if using social media becomes an integral part of the class, then shouldn't the school be providing a Compass or a Moodle site or some other public site for this purpose? And wouldn't that be a better solution than having the teacher's own Facebook page be the vehicle of communication with students? Another longer answer, which might turn my answer into a maybe or a no on the question of whether students and teachers should be allowed to connect through social media sites. And Bobby's post leaned a little in this direction, and you wouldn't be surprised that I'm concerned about the professionalism of the interaction on the teacher's part. It's really difficult to monitor. I wouldn't want to be the assistant principal or whoever it would be who would have the role of keeping track of really what the interactions on social media sites are. And to me, the teacher-student relationship that's in the classroom needs to be carried through social media. So it would require that the teacher model appropriate behavior. But the more I thought about this in preparing for this vlog entry tonight, guess what? My answer went about 180 degrees around, being that yes, if there's a teacher out there who's willing to put in the time, model the appropriate behavior, help students gain experience in using social media appropriately, then I'm all for it. And actually, I might even turn that should be a requirement at some point. I'm not going to be surprised if it isn't in the next few years, that one of the requirements of getting through high school should be that students actually have some experience and know what is expected to use social media sites appropriately. So that's it. My answer for this week, and I look forward to talking again next week. Good night.